Jimbo Slice. Welcome to the real Desert Dogs.
Previously on the Desert Dogs.
We were going to go to the Rodman Mountains, and unfortunately it looks like there's a little bit of rain.
So we decided to stick with plan A and drive into the storm.
No, it just started raining.
This is getting really bad right now. But this seems like flash flood weather right now, so we'll see what goes on and everything.
Woo! Man! We just made it out of hell, and we're back in civilization. And by civilization, I'm talking about Newberry Springs. So Joe and Jim have gone ahead of us. That's right, Jim's going, so there might be a chance of a flash flood just for no reason. But I think, well, yeah, we'll see. Hey, it's not easy, dude.
Our second attempt at the Rodman Mountains met with more favorable weather. The yellow-white ball of incandescent plasma, which we call the sun, welcomed us onto the humble trail leading to our destination.
I got my hands full.
Yeah. We're driving on the dirt road. No, he told me we were slow.
Oh, he just called to make fun of us?
Yeah. Oh. Where are you at? We just got on the dirt road. You guys are slow. Okay, bye.
Up ahead, we were told by the two who went ahead of us, Joe Perry and Jimbo Slice, that we only need to be careful about the drop-off.
I think that was the drop-off.
What's on the screen? Drop-off is like the buzzword for now.
The drop-up? Dude, we just went over the bounce-up.
While we were puzzled as what that could mean, we thought it was just a trail leading down into a canyon. Little did we know that it literally was a drop-off. And to call where we were going a canyon was an understatement.
In the morning.
Here it is.
Whoa.
Alright,
This is drop-off.
Let me film this.
Can someone argue?
I am. Want to walk it? You want to walk it?
You're scared? You're being a little bitch.
I can only describe the site
Yeah, we hear you.
as the Grand Canyon of the Mojave.
What's up with the side rocks?
Whoa, stop. Rewind it again? Did you see that?
Alright, so we lived through the infamous drop-off, and we're still in one piece. You okay, Donovan? What's that? Is that a Geo Metro?
Is that that little squirrel car?
We eventually met up with the two early birds, who led us to the proposed campsite, a cozy spot not too far from a cliff's edge.
A lot of petroglyphs up there.
Is there?
Pretty desolate. It's nice.
So how far up did you go?
Huh?
How far up did you go? All the way?
No, we didn't take that mile-and-a-half canyon. We explored the mountain.
I think so, yeah. I think it's not bad.
You know, around in there, but
Let's get us set up and then take us over those petroglyphs.
You're gonna love them, man. There's tons of them.
Alright, it's the first day here, and we have already found quite a few petroglyphs, not too far away from wherever it is that we camped. In order to see these petroglyphs, you probably have to log on to our website under our photo gallery, too, by the way. Because there's no way I could put all these petroglyphs on a film.
We realized just how awesome this place was by the sheer amount of petroglyphs that we found on the first day. But this film isn't about day one. It's about the epic story that happened on day two.
physics.
Day 2. We woke up early for the planned hike. We were to check out a canyon that Joe thought would hold petroglyphs.
This isn't going to give it any justice, but this is called the Grand Canyon of the Rodmans.
I've never seen nothing like this. That's straight down, man. Look at over there.
And that's just the beginning, the opening.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here's my handle, here's my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Just tip me over and pour me out.
Here we are at the mouth of what we're going to call 1.5 Mile Canyon. The reason we're calling that is that this canyon, and we haven't explored it yet, this canyon continues through the lava flow for about 1.5 miles, where it breaks out through the other end to another open area. We haven't explored this before, so it should be an adventure. But we did explore a little bit of the mouth of it, and we have found several petroglyphs and stuff right here in this general facility. So it should be an exciting trip.
Joe, my dad, was complaining about his knee the day before, and while he was slower than the others, he seemed determined to make it to the end of the canyon.
For the last 2 days, Joe has been on a spiritual fast. The fast, or perhaps the unknown meaning of these petroglyphs, put Joe into a rare state of mind.
I accompanied him for a while, so as to make sure he wasn't left behind. Who would have known what would eventually happen?
Now close my eyes, and this is what's going on in my head. As I close my eyes, give it a couple minutes. Right now I see kind of a line. I see the dot again. I see a spot right in the center. At first it kind of looked like an eye. It doesn't look like an eye anymore, and there are rings radiating out from eye and how, and I think I'm beginning to see how that works. Yes. As I hobble up the canyon.
When we caught up with the others in the middle of the canyon, they were examining some petroglyphs and debating as to whether they were real. That's when we heard some buzzing.
So we were walking through this canyon and we found a beehive, and it's right up here. You can see the wax combs actually coming out. I haven't seen any bees yet, and I have a feeling because it's really cold and it needs to be warmer for them to fly around. So it's not as dangerous right now, but on the way back we have to be really careful because once it gets warm, anything can disturb them. It could be either us talking, a strong smell, or even dark clothes that you're wearing. So I have a feeling these, because we're out in the desert, it might be Africanized honeybees. If it is, that means it's obviously a lot more dangerous than if it was those regular European bees. So like I said, when we come back, we probably have to either go somewhere else or just avoid them altogether because it might be dangerous.
How far would you have to be to escape the killer bees and all that?
So once they attack, I think they give you like around 100 meters, I believe. And after that, they dwindle off. There's still a few that might trail off. But if it was the regular European bees, it probably would have been within like maybe 30 meters and they go off. The thing is that they're really persistent. So once the first one stings you, it's going to go right after you. The rest of the hive's going to go after you and then basically try to eliminate you completely.
It didn't take long until Joe's knee caught up to him. And that's when he requested that we continue on without him. That left us with a dilemma. Do we leave him alone in an isolated canyon in the desert? Or do we continue on?
So I think Joe had to stop because his knee is out of commission. He's resting. He told us to go ahead. I don't think we have to go too much further, but we're obviously all a little bit worried. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
Not even 15 minutes later, we found the end of the canyon.
So I'm suggesting that maybe we should hike up and go up, see if it's like, the other place, and see if there's some petroglyphs up on top there. Because it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Up and over we went, and that's when we realized that if we go too much further, we might truly be abandoning Joe. We did find a vital source of water for the nearby wildlife.
So if you ever wonder why you sometimes see mosquitoes or dragonflies around the desert, and you wonder, there's no water around here, where in reality there is if you actually look pretty close. So around here there's puddles of water where stagnant water just accumulates from the recent rains, and because it's stagnant, all you could probably find is just mosquito larvae and dragonfly larvae. Most of the other ones like mayflies and stoneflies, you won't see that in running water like streams and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons why you see dragonflies and mosquitoes in deserts, not really anything else besides that.
Having found an abundance of petroglyphs, we felt we've accomplished our mission and that we should return to Joe. But when we got to the spot where we left him, there was nothing there except for words scribbled in the sand.
All right, right now we're looking for my dad again. He has left us some messages in the sand though to help us find him. That's where we left him right there. So he just said that he went back.
So what we got here was a creosote, and I noticed these little balls, and actually a lot of creosotes have these little balls. I wasn't sure what they were because they're kind of furry. Basically, I thought they were flowers in the beginning, and then what turns out were flowers are actually galls, and galls are basically tumors that start forming on trees, and they're caused by normally wasps. So wasps lay their eggs on the plants. The larvae tunnel into the stems, and eventually, once they find an area to pupate, they start feeding on the plant, which creates this sort of tumor. And this one's actually really nice because I've never seen a gall. Normally they're almost spherical in shape, but this one is almost furry. Let me try to open it up and see if we can find a pupae in there. So that what you see there in the middle is a pupae of a wasp. Should look, I think I cut it in half. Oh. So, do you see the white stuff in there, I think?
Oh, yeah.
Not too far from the wasp, Joe's trail mysteriously disappeared. We continued our way back to camp, worried about our lost mentor. Along the way, Danny ran into a couple of spiders.
Alright, what we got here?
So what we got here is a black widow, and that's what's so cool about black widows, where you see them in urban environments, but they're actually native from the deserts. So you actually see them in the deserts. And here's a female black widow, and then the only way I could tell is a female because it's huge. Normally males are much smaller than this. Yeah, let me take it. And it has the red hourglass right under.
And finally at camp, Danny went out to look for more insects, while Donovan unwound and shot a few rounds from his gun.
What the hell's he doing? Oh!
What's he doing? What is he thinking? Doofus?
Danny! Danny! Danny, Italian?
Bastard.
Sorry, man.
The reason this episode is called The Rodman Tea Party is that our conversations revolved around two topics.
The cool hiking stick.
Just like the Tea Party, there was very little discussion of liberty, but plenty of talk about guns and religion.
Jesus isn't necessarily claiming to be the Son of God. He's claiming to be one with God.
I think one or two of the group actually holds Tea Party allegiances. The rest are a bunch of libs, moderates, and even a few political apathetics. In other words, There is no set political dogma within the Desert Dogs. But the real reason we called it the Rodman Tea Party is that sometime during the night we ran out of alcohol and we drank nothing but tea for the rest of the trip. Needless to say, we never did find Joe. Who knows? Maybe he went wandering off, hallucinating into the desert. As his son, I can only hope he is okay and that we will meet once again. I'm Andrew Perry. Let's try and keep it reasonable out there.
American music! American music, home slice! So we settled for Jenny's Grill in Barstow.
It smells like horse.
It's like a Mexican food place. Good times. There's my trash cans.
Oh, there you go. This stuff good? Donovan's hating on my stinky fingers.
Well, wash your hands.
No.
Doesn't realize that his hands were too dirty.
Better?
Gonna get under the nails, you filthy animal.
Yeah, dude. So what, dude? What's up with me? Wash my hands, didn't I? Like you asked, you girl. These dirty they're gonna sit there all day. Bunch of bums over there. We ain't gonna help them. We ain't gonna tip them. You see that big one, dude? He's dirty. Dirty ass. They all took a shower in the bathroom.
This is my mama. She do not talk about her topic.
Your big ass little chocolate. Cow killer. Let's give this guy another horchata. Watch him pass out. I don't think they serve bull milk. Can't believe you just drank a half a gallon of milk. We got an horchata tap over here.
We got
That's what I got.
chicken burrito, right?
Yep.
What'd you get?
It's going down.
That's the worst of
Good. Thank you. Yeah, you got that. What is that? What's that? What's that?
Is this shrimp?
Ooh.
So.
Yeah, I got a one.
Okay. You?
8 because it was good, but I didn't know I was going to get a chicken soup burrito.
How are you, Donovan?
I want one in Panda, so I'm gonna give it 3. Andy had to have his way.
I'll give it a 5. The service, it was good food, but just the service was a little slow.